Simon. Thank you for taking a minute to watch our video on attorney's fees. So a lot of people get into personal injury cases and they don't really understand from the outset how fees are handled. Almost all personal injury lawyers work on what is called a contingency basis. And this is basically a commission. If you've ever had a real estate broker, you expect to pay a certain percentage of what the sales price is to the broker as their fee. And attorneys work pretty much in the same way, but the fees are drastically different. So when a personal injury lawyer takes on a case, they are taking on a great deal of risk. It is a no-win, no-pay kind of a situation. So if the case falls apart, lawyer doesn't succeed, loses the case in front of the jury, the lawyer gets paid nothing whatsoever. In other words, there's no skin in the game from the client's side as far as the attorney is concerned. So because the lawyer can lose the case, because they can hypothetically get nothing on the case, the fee percentages are quite a bit higher than they are with real estate. In real estate, average brokerage commissions are about 6% total, 3% on each side. With personal injury lawyers, the fee structures are very different. Your typical Atlanta market and Georgia market attorney is going to be about 33% of the gross settlement for anything that is done before the suit is filed, and around 40% of the entire verdict or settlement if the case is actually put into litigation. Now, a lot of clients come to us and say, well, what does that exactly mean? What is PreSuit? What is litigation? Litigation means trying the case, right? The answer is no, it's a little bit different than that. So PreSuit is the phase of the case from the time the case comes into the firm, client's signed up, medical records are collected, demands are processed, we discuss it with the client, and a demand goes out to the insurance company. That is all PreSuit before the lawsuit is filed. Anything that is negotiated in that phase of the case is done at a 33% fee. That is very standard. That's what our firm charges. That's what most firms do charge. So if you settle the case for $100,000 at that point, $33,000 is the firm's fee, $66,000 is the client's portion, out of which has to come any medical reimbursement and any expenses, and then the net goes to the client. So that's PreSuit. In litigation simply means that the law firm has had to actually go down to the courts, file a case, and that the case has received a filing number. That litigation process begins on that day. Service is affected afterwards, which means the sheriff has gone out and served the defendant. They've actually physically handed the paperwork to the defendant. And then the defendant has filed an answer, and there's a big exchange of paperwork called discovery. Discovery is the portion of the case where each side discovers something about the other side's case. Heavy on the paperwork, probably 50, 60 pages worth of questions. The firm will work with the client to answer them, and then we also send our own questions out to the people that we are filing suit against. So there is a lot more manpower involved. Because the work increases drastically after the filing of the case, the fee goes from 33% to 40% for most firms. So that's kind of the event to keep an eye on. Keep in mind, it is always the client's choice. It's your decision whether you want to file suit or not. So whatever law firm you're working with, it's up to you whether the fee shifts from 33 to 40. Make sure that whatever lawyer you're working with has explained why it's in your interest to go ahead and do this. Don't just rubber stamp it and say, yeah, that sounds fantastic. Some firms will want to file suit just to increase their percentage when it's not actually adding value. So get a calculator out, look at the last offer before the suit is filed, and make sure that it makes sense to pay an additional 7% to the attorney out of the gross settlement or workout to go down that path. Now, this is something we always do with our clients. We'll say, look, here are the pros, here are the cons. This is what I would work with. This makes sense, or this does not make sense for you to file suit. We also have quite a few situations where we say, look, file suit, but get it settled within the first 60 days. If we do that, we keep our litigation percentage at the same PreSuit rate. Now, one thing to be very careful of is most of the television firms advertising in the state of Georgia don't tell you this. They're going to tell you to sign a contract that is 40% of the fees PreSuit and 45% if they file the suit. That is highway robbery. That is way above standard rates, and you need to speak up if your attorney is doing that. I hope this has given you some insight into how the process goes. There is a reason why the fees are structured this way. The client is never at risk. If you have any questions, just pick up the phone, call us, or email us. We're happy to answer. Thank you so much.